year that they see you opened up a contract for them to even do that. There's no open contract for me to be involved in that. So they can't say I owe or whatever because I didn't do a tax return and not put that on it. See, when you did your tax return, to them, it looked like you left out the 1099. Now they're adding it in and saying you owe it. That's basically, they redid your tax return for you. See, I don't have a contract where they could say, okay, you left this out. See, those things are just statements of which they making claims. So what happens is when I do a tax return, someone into a statement 1099A, now I'm doing a tax return, I left it out. There's no balancing. So they got it, so they're gonna balance it out for me. Unless I dispute it. See, if you disputed that would have never been added into your tax return. You didn't dispute it. So then they go and say, well, you owe us some money, boom, boom, boom. They said they mail it, and they love mailing to wrong addresses. They do. So that's why you got to, IRS letters are just like third-party debt collectors. Answer them within 30 days. If you don't, it becomes real, okay? So with the car, they did the 1099A. Oh, okay, great. Now I don't owe it. Now, and then they sent me a statement that I owe them no more money. Now, my only problem is I don't have the title to the truck. I don't care. But guess what? I just keep dealer plates on it. I don't care. Dealer plates on it. I don't even insure it because then insure it means I have to register it. Then that might bring up that order, all of that stuff. But once I get the title, I won't have to worry about that no more. Because what I'll do is take the title and sell it to my trust. Now it's under the trust and no one can touch it. New title, no one can touch that trust. They still can't touch it now because that order, that was like almost 3 years ago now. It's done. So with that car, just so, unless you want to sell it, that's the only time you're going to worry about needing the title. Really. Is it operational? Okay. Now, then don't worry about it. You're just trying to worry about the credit part. Okay. Okay. All right, yeah. They coming at you. Are they coming forward like a third-party debt collector? Yeah, just send them a letter, man. Shut them down. Hey, I don't owe you nothing. He's still a third-party debt collector. Right. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If they're coming in as a different name. So if it's a Bank of America legal department, that's a different name. Right. He's still a lawyer. He still don't have first-hand knowledge. They use the lawyer title for intimidation. That's all. They don't mean nothing. They still the same as any other third-party debt collector. Now, if they try to sue you, which they might, they're gonna bring a lawyer to the room. He still gotta follow rules of evidence. First-hand knowledge. Only person with first-hand knowledge can speak in that courtroom as a witness. Right. Who you was sitting there witness you signed the contract. Right. Don't argue about whether you owe or not. The point you want to make is who's accusing me? Is it the real party who witnessed me sign it? They might even send a document certified saying that you owe this, but it still got to be from somebody that first-hand knowledge. This is not your signature. How's it your signature? Because all they're going to do is show you a photocopy. That's not your signature. It's like, no, that's not my signature. It's a copy of what purports to be my signature. Your wording, how you address it. Hey, it seems like it's it looks like a copy of what looks like my signature, but no, that's not my actual reading signature. Right? And most times they can't even bring them original contract. But even if they brought the original contract, who's going to testify that you did that? You have a right not to incriminate yourself, right? You can remain silent on that question. I can either confirm or deny. All right, passport. Anything else before I move on to this? All right. All that stuff I said about nationality comes down to this. How you fill this out. You'll run into people that talk about you need to correct your nationality. You need to correct your nationality. And they have all this long, drawn-out paperwork for you. And I'm here to tell you this is all you need to do. All. And this here tells you I can skip everything and go straight to the oath because that's where the answer is. In the oath. Right here on the application. And the whole key is not to look like a U.S. citizen, right? And this is the part, they don't read this first part to you. They'll start right here. Number 2, the statements made on this application are true and correct. I have not knowingly, whoever went for a passport before. This is the part they read to you. They don't read the first part. They read all of the part about your photograph is you and all that stuff is correct, right? This thing been going on. Nobody important. Good. All right. Let's read the actual oath from the beginning. It says, I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. I am a citizen or non-citizen national of the United States and have not, since acquiring U.S. citizenship or nationality, performed any of the acts listed under acts and conditions on page 4 of this instructions of this application. Are you familiar with that? Anybody familiar with that statement? So can somebody interpret that? It's all legalese, and I don't expect y'all to get it 100% right. Can you kind of give me the gist of what that just said? No. It's saying, I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. What you're saying, you're making a declaration to the facts here. Saying that all of this is true and correct. And if not, you can charge me with a crime, right? Everything on this application is true. That's what this is, I declare under. But what I want you to focus on is number 1. It says, I am a citizen of the United States or non-citizen national of the United States and have not, since acquiring U.S. citizenship or nationality, performed any of the acts listed under acts and conditions on page 4 of this instructions of this application, unless explanatory statements is attached. Because I'm going to give somebody another shot, then I'll break it down. Right? But start at the beginning. Don't skip the beginning part. You went to the end. Right. You're making a declaration that you're what? You going there. That you one of these, right? Performed any of the acts listed in the acts and conditions on page 4 of the instruction application, unless what? Okay, so what is this saying? I'm going to break it down. It's saying you're a U.S. citizen, you're a citizen of the United States or a non-citizen national of the United States, unless you do 2 things. You do what acts and conditions says on page 4, and you attach explanatory statements. So it's saying that you're a U.S. citizen, you're going to be looked at as a U.S. citizen unless you do what's on page 4 and supply your explanatory statement. See, they did it in legalese to confuse you so you would never get it. And if I didn't break this down, y'all would have never saw that, right? Because they did it backwards. Instead of just saying, hey, listen, if you're not a U.S. citizen, just go to acts and conditions and follow the instructions and give us explanatory statements. They just said it in layman terms. They know we are not lawyers because this was written by a lawyer to just confuse you, just like the Bible says. Christ has said, you lawyers blind the minds of the people, something to that effect. He condemned lawyers, so this is telling you not to even get a lawyer. Right? So they did this to cause confusion. So if they wrote that in the Bible, that means it's been going on for however long. These type of confusing statements. So let's go to acts and conditions. How many people got a passport in here or have tried to get one? Few of y'all. Did y'all ever read the acts and conditions on page 4? Didn't even know it existed, right? There's acts and conditions right there. Can y'all read that? Now, I did a seminar back in, well, it wasn't really a seminar. I'm part of another group, 12 of us. And it was one guy who thought he knew everything. And he was, yo, you can't do nothing over here. Because it says here, I'm waiting till they get back because this is very important. Wait, no, that's fine. I know people got to do their thing. Go ahead and get y'all a snack, whatever. Lauren, you want a snack from over there? You sure? Don't be shy. You know these things here are the truth. I remember one day I was sneezing, and the papa put me on these. He said, take one of these. It was gone. Everybody back from the bathroom? Huh? I drank 2 bottles of almost that water. That just ran through me. Imagine doing this for 2 days. 8 hours a pop. I'm out of whack right now because I haven't done one since March, and then after I did one in Charlotte, they shut everything down. I kind of enjoyed that little vacation because I was doing one every month, traveling from different states. You know, I was in Washington, Arizona, Texas. It was wearing on me. Like, man, I enjoy doing them when I'm doing them, but it's just that traveling, the hotel, and I get in and get out. I come in the day before, and then I'm on the plane, hopefully by the evening or the next morning. And it gets taxing. I like being home. Oh, y'all ready? That brother went to the bathroom. This is it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, acts or conditions. So it says you need to, if you haven't done anything here, and if you have, explain it. So it says, if any of the below mentioned acts or conditions have been performed by or applied to the applicant, the portion which applies should be lined out. So what does that mean when it says line out? Right. So it says which applies. See, they even did that backwards. Usually when you line out something, it doesn't apply. Right? Very confusing, right? You think they did that, you know, just because they didn't know what they were doing? They're trying to deliberately deceive you. Right. So you line out. People sit there, yeah, highlight. No, it says lined out. And a supplementary explanatory statement under oath or affirmation by the applicant should be attached and made part of this application. Now, I'm going to tell you how crazy people are. I have guys go do my process, go in there and do their explanatories and do their line outs, and the people will sit there and say you can't do that. You can't do it, right? You tried it before? Right. And the daggone rules say you can do it. It'll say it. No. And then some places will refuse to even take your application. That's why I say do it on religion. because at that point, they can't shut you down. Now they're hindering with your religious beliefs when they stop you from doing it. So my affidavits are done on religion. You see? Oh. Thank you. So my application is done off religion, so when they start talking that mess, hey, are you interfering with me from practicing my religious beliefs right now? And are you purporting to even teach me law? Because when you go to do the application, people are just there to take the application, verify that you are the person executing this application. That's their own job. Pay the fees and send it off to the Department of State to process, and they're the ones who make a determination whether you're going to get a passport or not. These people are acting like gatekeepers, and they're doing a job that ain't even their job. So when guys call me up, they not letting me. They won't let me. Stop telling me. That's one thing that's irritating me when people call me and say what they won't let them do. I said, listen, you're allowing them not to let you do it. Don't say they say, they say. They can say whatever they want, but if it ain't written on paper and in the rules, then what they say don't mean nothing to me. Because I'm showing you where it says do that. Now, this is the part where most people get confused. And everybody, whether they're trying to be a national or not, need to be in this section reading. When I get to a certain part, you'll see what you need, why everyone should be on this acts and conditions. Okay? So it says, I have not, since acquiring United States citizenship or nationality, been naturalized as a citizen of a foreign state. Let's stop right there. How many people took an oath to be a United States citizen in this room? Where you come from? You born in Georgia. So you went down and naturalized? Okay, so you good. If you ain't do that, if you didn't do that, then you good. All right. Now, military, you took an oath of allegiance to the military, and that you would commit for so many years to be in that service. But once you left that service, you went back to what? Civilian life, right? You go back to your original status. Right. While you're under that contract, you are a U.S. citizen and have to follow all their rules. You're no longer under that contract anymore. But that doesn't mean that you can't still receive your retirement. You still get that money. Whenever it comes to money, get the money. Okay? Don't be talking about I ain't a U.S. citizen, I'm not taking your check. Take that check. Okay? Don't let these fools tell y'all, because most people that tell you not to take the check, guess what? They broke. Okay? And the reason why they tell you, because they want you to be broke like them. You're going to read a lot of poor righteous preachers in this business. Okay? Telling you this. Y'all going to run into them, and a few of y'all might call me and say, well, this guy said this and that. And the first thing I'm going to ask you, how is he living? Okay? I live good. Okay? And I don't be ashamed to say I don't live good. I believe in being compensated for my time and my efforts. But in return, I'm going to give you the best information possible to help you. You could do something with what I'm telling you. Some of the stuff I told people in here just liberated some people mentally when it came to debt. Y'all was worried about this thing being on your credit report, and I'm telling you, who cares about a credit report? You don't tell me how good I am. But you just got to know how to work around it. It's always a workaround. Companies come into business. Most companies go out of business within the first 2 years. About 85% of them go out of business in the first 2 years. And a lot of them be out of business. They don't even fill out the paperwork the next year. Like, you know, how every year you got to do the Secretary of State. They don't even do that. So they're out of business just because they don't want to renew the stuff. Right? So why y'all worried? It's nothing to worry about. It's just numbers on the paper. That credit report do not represent who you really are. Okay? You don't want credit under that social anymore anyway. I don't have any credit. I got one thing under my social right now. Is just a house that I own, that I did back in 2002. And my ex-wife, she lives there, but she keeps screwing the credit up. She can't get it totally off my name. You see what I'm saying? But as you know, I could force it, but you know, I ain't got time for all that. I'm on the bigger and better things. So it says, I have not been naturalized a citizen of a foreign state. you are naturalized a citizen of a foreign state. Which foreign state is that? Georgia, and what else? Remember what I said, spirituality. No. Spirituality first. You naturalized under the kingdom of heaven. Come on, y'all. Automatic. How did you get here? You didn't get, that didn't happen by some mechanical means. That came from divine intervention, how you got here. It could have been it was a million options to someone else being here, but you got here. So that was by design. Right? There was millions of them little things trying to get in that egg, knocking on the door, banging, let me in. And one came in, and that was you. That can't be nothing but divine intervention. That can't be nothing but ordained. Right. Everybody's ordained to be here. Everybody. This idea there's only one person ordained, this and that, that's total garbage. Everybody's ordained and have a special divine purpose to be here. You're not here to watch football games, play, that's stuff you do for entertainment, but you are here to leave a divine footprint before this body goes. And then the spirit goes off back into the infinite. And then guess what it does? Come right on back. Some people call it reincarnation. And that wasn't it. Every spiritual guru, Christ, whatever you want, Buddha, all of them had some form of reincarnation, or they are a reincarnation of a prophet or spiritual leader before them. They just keep coming back with the same thing. And they took this guy and called him Christ. Some people say it's Yahshua, but he's the same, represents the same energy, the same spirit. That is that you are to become him. You will never know anything Buddha, Christ, or any of these things until you become that. You won't know the Christ until you become the Christ. And that's the whole walk, is to become that higher consciousness and realizing where your real power is. And the power was given to you the moment that electrical charge, because that was an explosion that happened in that egg. You go poof, and then mitosis splits. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on and so forth. I can't even count that high. So, taking an oath or made an affirmation or other form of declaration of allegiance to a form of state, right? Y'all got allegiance to what? Right here. That's a foreign state. See, they don't define foreign state because they want you to assume that foreign state means another country. And you notice how it's written? Right? Entered or served in the armed forces of a foreign state. Churches can have armed forces too. Except actually the Catholic Church, that's what nuns and monks were. Mercenaries. AKA missionaries. Yeah, when you go look up the two words, they're the same thing. See, what reason why they came up with missionaries, because during the Barbary slave trade over in Europe, they were snatching up people all over. Fair-skinned folks, that's what they were snatching up. And the Catholic Church had to go get them back. So they trained their missionaries in the art of war and fighting. So you ain't gonna send no guy who can't fight over there. These guys were straight warriors and negotiate these deals to get their people back. So it's really mercenaries. That's where the term mercenary comes from, the church. And they knew how to fight. They wore, that's what they the Jesuit class guys. Those are warriors for the church. You see? So there's all this peaceful, loving stuff. And all of this stuff, they still doing a lot of those missionaries that were incorporated back then, they still exist today. And now what they're doing, they go into these countries with their missionary work, bringing so-called medical intervention, which is poison, and is experimenting on people. So Tuskegee is still going on. Those experiments are still going on, just in different ways. And this next round of vaccines, you're going to see. All right? Entered or served in the armed forces of a foreign state, accepted or performed the duties of an office, post, or an employment under the government of a foreign state or political subdivision thereof, made a formal renunciation of nationality either in the United States or before a diplomatic or consular office of the United States in a foreign state, or been convicted by a court or court-martial of competent jurisdiction of committing any act of treason against or attempting by force to overthrow or bearing arms against the United States or conspiring to overthrow, put down, or to destroy by force the government of the United States. So it said line out what applies, right? So what would apply to you? And it said, this is where the guy thought he was smarter than me. He said, it says here, the portion which applies should be lined out. And he was like, none of this applies, so you can't line out none of that. Yes, you can, because it said the portion. So, I don't know why this keeps sleeping on me. Maybe because I'm going through this HDMI. All right. Portion means just that, portion. So I'm the orchestrator of my life, right? So I just pick out what I want. I have, line, taken an oath, made an affirmation, formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state. I just lined that. Now I made that sentence work for me, right? So what my foreign state is, my religious beliefs, right? Then I skipped down to here, made a formal renunciation of nationality in the United States. For the brother with the security form, he would leave that alone because he's doing the security, right? Now, I just made that work for me. I said line out the portion, so I picked the portion that applies to me so that they know that I'm not a U.S. citizen, right? All my allegiance is to this foreign state, which I'm going to point to in my explanatory statements, right? Then it says, furthermore, now everybody, even if you're not trying to, even if you want to be a U.S. citizen, should be reading this. Furthermore, I have not been convicted of a federal or state drug offense, convicted of a sex tourism crime statute, and I am not the subject of an outstanding federal, state, or local warrant of arrest for a felony, a criminal court order forbidding my departure from the United States, see, they got to have a court order to keep you from leaving the United States. A subpoena received from the United States in a matter involving federal prosecution for or grand jury investigation of a felony. That means that if whoever applied for a passport and didn't line this out, you basically said you guilty of all of this. You see what I'm saying? So everybody that has a passport that didn't even at least do this part, you just told these people you a drug offender. You involved with sex tourism. Because it said line out what applies to you. But they never show you that. So this is why they treat U.S. citizens with hostility, because all of y'all are criminals according to your own hand. Draw a line right on through it. Line it. Like this. Put a line right on through. I have, because you see it's written, I have not. No, I have taken an oath or made an affirmation or other formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state. I'm letting them know I'm part of a foreign state. It does. Okay, let's read the instructions. See, this will always get people right here. They get, because they so used to meaning that, right. Well, I'm gonna let this tell you what it says. If any of the below mentioned acts or conditions have been performed by or applied to the applicant, the portion which applies should be what? See? They're doing it backwards. Usually you underline what applies. Lining out means it doesn't apply. In our layman's world, that's what we've been taught. So they know you've been taught line out means doesn't apply. But here they wrote it in reverse. To purposely confuse your mind. That's why I had to read it over and over again until you grasped it. There ain't nothing wrong with you. What it is, you trying to undo that programming that they put in your head and reprogram your mind for what this is actually saying. This says that does it reverses. It reverses on how it reads. See how it reads? I have not since acquiring did any of these. So I have to say I have done it. This one says, furthermore, I have not been convicted. So if you haven't been convicted, you need to line, this all applies, line the whole thing out. So I have none of these problems, so I will line this whole this paragraph applies to me, and I need to line it out because it applies to me. Now you get it? Right. That you did. Right. 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 See how that's why I said y'all leave here with a headache by the time I go through all of this stuff. You know? You just leave the knot. Of the Netherlands. What that's saying, it was the Dutch Republic before the Netherlands. It was a precursor. Okay. Now you go down to economy. It says during the Dutch Golden Age, in the late 16th and 17th centuries, the Dutch Republic dominated world trade. What they're telling you is they dominated world trade during this time. Now you look at the years, you know that was the Moors, right? Conquering a vast colonial empire and operating the largest fleet of merchantmen of any nation. The county of Holland was the wealthiest and most urbanized region in the world. In 1650, the urban population of the Dutch Republic as a percentage of total population was 31.7%, while that of the Spanish Netherlands was 20.8%, of Portugal 16.6%, and of Italy 14%. In 1675, the urban population density of Holland alone was 61%. That of the rest of the Dutch Republic, 27%. Now follow me very closely. The free trade spirit of time was augmented by the development of modern, effective stock market in the Low Countries. Now I do know that the birth certificate is a certificated security, meaning that it's traded on the stock market, right? The Netherlands has the oldest stock exchange in the world, founded in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company. While Rotterdam has the oldest bourse in the Netherlands, the Dutch East India Company exchange went public in 6 different cities. Later, a court ruled that the company had to reside legally in a single city. So Amsterdam is recognized as the oldest Dutch institution based on modern trading principles. While the banking system evolved in Low Countries, it was quickly incorporated by the well-connected English, stimulating English economic output. 1590, 1712, we know the Barbary slave trade was during that time, right? Also possessed one of the strongest and fastest navies in the world, allowing for their varied conquests, including breaking the Portuguese sphere of influence on the Indian Ocean and in the Orient, as well as lucrative slave trade from Africa and the Pacific. After reading this, what they're talking about sounds credible, and I'll tell you why. If that's the oldest stock exchange that your ancestors created, and they were trading these things, you know, one of the first stocks was what? Slaves. Or commodities, I guess you could say commodities. The slave would be considered commodities, but stock, oldest stock market. So if we're trying to capture that straw man properly, you couldn't take up China to get it, to prove that you're the owner. And once you apostille it, it becomes an international document. So you have to go to the country where they're holding that stock. Exclusively, I still got more to look at, but looking at this,
what he's saying is making sense to me. Listen, we can't just because Akeem's saying it, and then if someone comes to disagree with Akeem, you just credit what that person says because you like me and you trust my information, but I can be wrong. I'm not. Things can change. I can change my mind. The main reason why I believe in authentication because it was taught to me, and I believed in that person. Doesn't mean I don't believe in them, but I also know that if you're doing real research, you're turning over every rock and looking at it to see what's under it. And sometimes you might not find what you're looking for under all the rocks, but then there comes that one rock, and you find what you. So I want y'all to be like me. Turn over every rock. Vet what I say. And while you're vetting what I say, you're going to go see some things that I may have missed. And that's how we build as a people. It's not about who brought the information and because you like them. It's about you doing your due diligence and studying the information for yourself and gaining an understanding. And then coming back and saying, oh, this is what I found. But see, the problem people are doing, I spent time arguing with people about what this thing, and they were coming back regurgitating what somebody else said, not what they studied. And when it was asked, hey, did you read this treaty? Did you read this treaty? They got quiet. No, because they liked this person, so all they wanted to repeat is what that person said. That's not a good way to have a debate. A debate is bring your proof, your information, we all put it on the table, and we go over it, and we talk about it like gentlemen and not put people down for their idea. Listen, I will listen to anybody. Give them they got my ear if they're making sense. Whether it be a racist, a fellow Moor, because everybody has something to share. This is how we get to the bottom of this. Because all of these clues is everywhere. You see what I'm saying?
When you have problems, and they could be extreme, that is a great opportunity for you to really practice transcending that situation and work out not allowing it to bring you down consciously. That's the mission. That's the mission, to be able to navigate all of the challenges of this world that it may bring you and still be able to walk over it like Christ walked on water. Still be able to allow yourself to be sacrificed for the good of mankind. I'm not saying go, allow people to nail you to a stake or anything like that. What I'm saying is, spiritually, even though these people, you might feel from a fleshly level that they deserve condemnation, you cannot condemn. Because once you don't allow yourself to pass judgment on them for their wrongdoing, and you look at it as simply as, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And honestly, so people are so indoctrinated into the opposer mindset, into the devil mindset, that what they do, although it may be wrong to some and most people, they really don't see it as wrong. They really can't see it because their mind is so clouded in that vibration that in that world they feel justified. You just so happen to be a casualty of their ignorance to their true divinity. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Let me turn this music down. So turn it down. Peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to everyone. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. I know I left those recordings on pretty long. I was actually enjoying it. That's why I left it on. It was like, yeah, I came out. Watching myself in action. Watching yourself do things is what helps you improve. Watching if you're into doing videos and things like that. Let me just make sure my mic is going good. Yeah, it is. I'm looking good over here. I'm looking good. Look, see? Oh, I don't want that echo in there. See? Yeah, that's it. Right there. Watch. You get like those of you who are doing YouTube videos, and you should watch yourself because that's how you improve. Like you see things. Well, I could do this different. I could do this better next time. So always go back and watch yourself. I mean, even in your, if it's not a YouTube video, if it's just something else, just go and look at yourself, because you'll watch yourself evolve over time. You'll see how you started one place and ended up in another place. And let me say this as a checkpoint. There's two things I want to talk about: is your time is valuable, and also what you need to go to the next level. There's only really one thing you need to go to the next level, but I'll talk about that. So you're watching yourself transform, and it goes to the thing where I say what you need to go to the next level. Man, let's start there. Let's start right there. Let's start right there. I'm there, right? So I started off saying you watch yourself evolve, change, and you look down a year later and say, man, I'm a different person. Now think about this. Are you the same as you were when you was first born? No. The moment you came out of your mother's womb, you began to change. You started to become a new divine being. Every day was different. The cells you had when you was born is not the same cells you have now. The cells you had 7 years ago is not the same cells you have now. Do you know that cells continue to die and be reborn inside of you? So for all you people that don't believe in reincarnation and these past lives, it's happening to you right now. You're shedding cells are dying off and being reborn, getting new ones. You're becoming a new person over and over again. So what, but there's a what do you call what's that word? There's a peak, there's up to this life, and that's where this body eventually stops reproducing cells, and then you get what you call a physical death. Then you get a new existence. But I didn't want to talk about that. That might mess with some of you people who are of the Christian faith. You might not want to hear that, but that's what I believe and come through my studies, come to know. That's my knowing. Not trying to convince you of that. So back to the point I was making. I said you only need one thing in order to level up. And that one thing is the acceptance and knowledge that you must become a new being in order to level up. You cannot stay the same. You can't be what you was yesterday and level up today. You can't. You have to change. You must change. It is a requirement to higher consciousness, higher existence. You must change. So all of those people that do the same thing day in, this is why this system has developed a program, and that's what it is, a program of indoctrination into doing the same thing every day. Go get that job. Everybody's being taught the same thing. Go get the job, get your education, get that job, and boom, boom. So you can live and do whatever, be responsible. And once you do that, you forget your divinity because you're so caught up in what man has presented to you as an existence
and believe this is normal existence, because the great crowd of people of doing the broad and spacious road, which everybody finds, is doing that. That's why you have a 1% rich and 99% not rich, or wealthy, extremely wealthy, and then there's everything after that in between. Because the 99% want to be like the 99%. The 99% want to compete with thousands of people to get one job, instead of you being an individual and unique into your own divine existence and creating your job. And then you define that as hard because no one else is doing it. You don't have anybody else to support you 100%. You have some supporters, but most people won't support that. They'll come and ask you questions like, "Oh, you still doing that business?" How many people go up and work to people and say, "Hey, you still working on that job?" They assume you still have the job. They don't. But when you have a business, they make it a point. Every working person that has a job make it a point to ask you, "Are you still doing that business?" But everybody who's in business for themselves and working on their purpose don't ask people that question. They don't ask, "Oh, you still working that job?" They're not interested whether you have that job or not. Why? Because it goes to my first, but I'm talking about its second point. Your time is valuable, because you don't have time to talk about stuff like that. Because for you to, you're not in the space of jobs and clocking in and clocking out and asking people to take vacations and take days off and take sick days off. You're not in that mindset. So you are not in the space of asking that question. "You still work there?" No, you're not interested, because it's a wasted conversation, because you don't support that lifestyle. You support the lifestyle of the person who wants to be independent and create their own wealth through their own mind power, divine mind power of creating money or creating wealth. Not creating money. Somebody else created that concept. Being prosperous. You don't have time. Your time is valuable. Who you talk to, what you do becomes an issue when you're trying to level up, when you're trying to change from being this person to being something else or someone else. And that takes time. That consumes you. If you're really focused on leveling up, that's all you got time for. You don't have time for anything else, because everything else is distracted. Everything else is going to slow you down. You see, it is your time, making good use of your time is a necessary component to your leveling up and becoming someone different. Oh yeah, first off, I want to thank everybody who put the thumbs up. We got one thumbs down. Thank you for that too. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know, to come and put their thumbs down. I didn't say anything negative to anybody. You know, it's amazing how you could just be doing something positive and somebody would do that. Well, you look at all the other ones that came before me who tried to uplift, they tried to tear him down, right? Like I was looking at Luke. Just a little side note here. I was looking at Luke, and Luke chapter 11, it said one day Jesus was praying in a certain way. When he finished, one of his disciples said to him, "Lord, teach us to pray just as John taught his disciples." Then he told, and that's when you go into the Lord's Prayer. And here's one. Jesus was driving out a demon that was mute. When the demon left, the man who had been mute spoke, and the crowd was amazed. But some of them said, by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, he is driving out demons. So he did something good. He got a demon out. And they had, oh, Beelzebub. They went crazy, and they said Beelzebub helped him. Others tested him by asking for a sign from heaven. So you're always going to have the thumbs down people. That's just, listen, that I say this to say this. I'm saying all of that to say this. In your journey to the place you're going, there's always going to be people that's going to try to stick their feet out to trip you. Just be mindful of that. And when you see it, be thankful. Because that's when you know you're doing something. When someone is trying to come at you, that's when you know you're doing something. That's when you know you're doing the right thing. It's a true honor to have haters. It is. And that's how you look at it. Don't get upset. Don't get caught up, you know. Because actually haters really like you. That's why they spend time trying to let you know I don't like that. They like you. And thank you for all the people that to offset that and put the thumbs up. So back to your time. Your time is valuable. What are you spending your time on? Honestly. The time when you get up, what is the first thing you're doing? One thing, I have a coach, and he's been coaching me. And he gave me something a while ago, and I really wanted to, I just want to share something he gave me today. He gave it to me before, but it's about having a purpose. What is your purpose? And this is something he gave, and it's kind of not kind of, it is something that I will be reading every morning when I get up. And then at the end of the night, the day, I'm going to look at this and say, have I been exhibiting these characteristics? And it says, purpose. I am an emissary of love. I am grateful for this life. I leave places and people better than I found them. I see everything around me as an opportunity to grow in character and excavate my heart to become fearless in my path. And in all this, I am a signpost as I invite others to see the same. I am made of this. Now, he wrote this, but this is what he suggests I read. And I like it, so I'm not going to change any of that. And I read that every morning. Now, that's not normally me. I have other things that I wrote, but this is the man who gave me this has been around the likes of Tony Robbins, Dr. Dwayne Dyer, people that I like. Dr. Wayne Dyer, I really looked up to him and his work. Tony Robbins, I liked his work. I've never really followed him 100%, but I liked the work that I liked, so I liked it. But I was more catered to people like Dr. Dwayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle, Neil Donald Walsh, Deepak Chopra, and the list goes on. Right? This is like he's actually worked with these guys. Like, okay. See, to level up, I had to invest in someone to help me improve my relationships. That being marriage, being, just in general relationships. And through this, I'm recognizing things that I wasn't aware of. That's why you always need coaches. You need people to help you see things you can't see because you're too close to it. See, I teach, but I am a student all the time. Like I said in the clip, anybody can teach me. If they, a wino can teach you something if you're really listening to them. See, if we go into to meet people with the spirit of openness and non-judgment, you will learn something from people. And it will let your relationships become less tense. You see? So, back to the time. Be careful. Watch out. Don't let things steal your time. And the one thing, guess what steals your time the most? You. Because you allow yourself to be distracted. You're stealing the time from yourself by procrastinating or whatever that is, you know? Or maybe you don't know. Let's see. Let's give some shouts out to some people. I think I gave y'all some good information tonight. Oh, we had Jack J Black 88 said 100. Peace. I've never seen that name before. Welcome. Jason in Brazil. Peace. Peace. AB. Peace. Almighty. Hindsight Radio. That's me. Peace. Prosperity. And extreme wealth to all. Peace, my brother. Indie Circle Ministry. Lake and Apple said peace to the gods and much light to all. And peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. Say J Black 88. Jason Bill said peace. And Indie Circle. And as they hate, they bring attention to you. They help too. Yes, they do. I remember when I was getting a lot of hate when I was branching out on my own. And I could tell when I was being talked about because people was coming to my channel. They was going to my website. I'd be like, come on, talk about me some more, man. Increase my prosperity. Talk about me. Say whatever you want. And you don't have to chase all that stuff down. You don't have to follow that stuff up. But I appreciate you guys. See, we got 11 listeners, 11 likes, and we had 1 thumbs down. I guess they left. They left. We wish them well as well. We wish them. If you notice, I was talking about authentication apostille. Go to that show. It's on my website, Authentication versus Apostille. Some very interesting information. I went back there to listen to something because I came across something else that I probably can utilize that information for. So that's in the works. When are you coming to Brazil? I don't know. So I mean, have you moved out there? Are you living out there for good in Brazil? Let me know, man. I'll make it a trip. I'll come see you directly. Come hang out with you. Shoot me an email, call me, one or the other. We can make a plan. I'll come out to Brazil. So I got friends everywhere. I got friends in Spain. I got friends in Brazil. I got friends in London. Oh, where else? What other countries? I have people. They always ask me, come on out. Come on. I got to go check these people out. So Brazil, here I come. Cagnet says peace all. All right, who's on Telegram? I got the Telegram channel on too. If you're on Telegram, if y'all want to say something, y'all can. I'll take a few comments or questions tonight. I didn't have a show yesterday. I was taking care of business. So if you're on Telegram, hit the button so I can see your hand, and I'll open up the mic, and y'all can have your conversation. You can share in the conversation, but if you don't want to say anything, that's fine too. Next Monday, I'll be back on with Consultation Mondays. Y'all can get on and get your questions answered. Utilize that time. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. Consultations are $97 with me for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. $97, yo. Come on. Utilize me on those days. Get your questions together. First seminar in Austin, then Brazil. I'll do a seminar in Brazil, but I don't know who's going to travel out there. If I do something like Brazil, that would be more like let's just get together and hang out. Oh, I do want to put this out there. I am putting together a cruise for next year, July. So if y'all want to be part of the cruise, I'm getting the prices together. I'll send it out if y'all want to join on a group cruise. I'm trying to get at least 15 to 30 people to go as a group. So it's kind of like my daughter's graduating. That's just kind of the thing I'm doing for. That's what I'm doing for that, to celebrate that. And it's going to be coming out of Miami, Icon of the Seas. Icon of the Seas. That big, big ship. And we're working on Austin, Texas for a seminar that we talked about. I think one of the listeners mentioned it to me a couple of days ago. I haven't really started looking into it, but I am going to look into it. All right, with that being said, I'm out of here then. Since nobody got nothing to say, I ran out of things to say. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Sometimes you're going to find yourselves in a situation where you feel like you're being done wrong, but actually you're being done right because it's setting you up for the bigger opportunity. So always keep your integrity. Always. Never let your integrity go by the wayside, because integrity is all you got. Your reputation is all you got. And yes, being truthful and honorable will cause you to lose something short term only. And you lost that because it was protecting you for something bigger. And from that, I mean, I got lifelong connections in that community. You know, sometimes we talk, hey, Akeem, what's up? What you doing? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. You make connections. People who know my reputation, they call me, hey, this guy, he's dependable. And that's what you want to be. You want to be dependable to your people, to everyone.